Alright, that's all the shilling I'll be able to do. I hope that cookie's good, Madison. Alrighty. Let's close you out. Let's get the show on the road. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble with Case 4, the Clouded Kokoro? Is that what it's called? Wait, what is it called? The Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro. Alright. Hope y'all had a lovely Saturday. I know I did. I slept in most of the time. Work's hard. You always deserve a good rest. Whatever you can to recharge your batteries. Nothing with the chocolate cake. That's alright. That's alright. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Where are we at? Right, we were about to be introduced to motherfucking British Luigi. And now that I say that, I can't unsee it. Germ. Germ 66. Okay. You said German, and I thought, wait, like the One Piece or the streamer? I never watched Germa. I've only seen like bits and pieces of him. He seems pretty funny. Nonsensical at times, but yeah. Breegy. Oh boy. Okay. Last time on The Great Ace Attorney, dead body, our motherfucking defendant, who got away scot-free despite all of the inconsistencies in the case, he died in the very evidence that he may or may not have fabricated. You know, it's up for debate. But hey, we're just gonna roll with the punches, you know, just keep on going to the next case. And now we meet with the head inspector, Bruigi, I guess. So, let's see what your deal is, good sir. Could we trouble you? What do you think? Lovely weather, isn't it? What's the weather got to do with anything? Excuse me as I try to get his voice. I don't know what to do with you. Oh, listen to me, you young Japanese upstart. Some frippery about the weather doesn't get every English gent eaten out of your hand, you know. Ugh. But Susato-san told me it was foolproof. I'm a busy man. A very busy man. Oh. Weird audio glitch. You should stream WarioWare? I don't have a Switch. Maybe one day, though. Not only is he eating fries... Well, actually, no. I think it's fish and chips. I'm a busy man. A very busy man. There's a crime scene to investigate. But I'm here having to give you the lights to we're talking to. Oh, I'm ever so sorry. Can you imagine what the other officers there will be saying? Haven't seen Gregson anywhere, have you? No, he's too busy with the bigwigs these days. And all because of some bumpkin who's here on a jaunt from a country I've never even heard of. Hear that ripping sound? That's my reputation at the yard going into tatters. There's no need to rip us apart as well. I don't believe we've been introduced. This is Mr. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a defense lawyer. Eh? It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, It's lovely weather we're having today, isn't it? It's an unseasonably fine, I grant you. London winters don't see a lot of sunshine. Unbelievable! How did you pull that off? By not stuttering like a goddamn fool all of the time. So, Lord Strongheart asked me to fill you in on the case. The name's Tobias Gregson. Inspector Gregson to you. I'm from Scotland Yard. Gregson? Inspector Gregson? What's the matter with Susato-san? Does this detective's name mean something to her? Aha, anime womanly charms. Never fail! Unless you know if it's like a Kruger situation. Inspector, are you perhaps the Inspector Gregson? You're acting like you know this man, Miss Susato. But he's a London detective. Oh, I do know him. Very well, in fact. Very well? Yes, he features prominently in the adventures of Sherlock Sholmes. Oh, in that publication. What's it called again? Rand Magazine? That's right. Inspector Gregson and Mr. Sholmes enjoy a wonderful friendly rivalry. Really? You rival the great Mr. Sholmes? That's incredible! Oh, well, I don't know about that. Mr. Sholmes isn't a professional like myself, of course, but he does come up with the goods from time to time. Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? You've earned his highest praise. Gregson is the pick of a bad lot of all of Scotland Yarders. Those were his own words. That's his highest praise? And yet, I wouldn't put it past him. That sounds about right. If Susato was cheering me on, I'd go up against Scotland Yard. Fair! Fair! Very fair. Very fair. Quite agree. Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments, you see. That he is not, and thanks to that magazine, my name's known all over London town now. That's great, isn't it? I have to admit that at the start I was a little, well, flattered by all the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand and my reputation at the yard went through the roof. Well, that's wonderful. No, it's not! There's nothing more sinister than the man on the street. What's Scotland Yard? I believe that's like Great Britain's police force. So I guess that just includes like the police, detectives, law enforcement, things like that. I don't know why it's called Scotland Yard. I think that just might be the area where like main headquarters are located, but I could be wrong. People are always looking at me now. They're whispering rumors about me under their breath, I'm sure.
Rumors? Are you quite sure?
He's changed since he started appearing in those stories. The fame's gone to his head. Stuff like that.
Gosh, do you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you?
Like I said, they whisper, so I can't exactly catch what they're saying, but I know what folk are like.
Well, if you can't confirm it with your own ears, then no, I suppose you don't.
I'm sure that's what they're saying. As sure as eggs is eggs.
I get the feeling this detective could be very hard work. Oh dear. Perhaps a sudden rise to fame does change people.
Why would anybody be mean to Luigi? I don't know. Why would anybody be mean towards celebrities? You could come up with a number of reasons, especially since they're all put up on a pedestal.
The same head shape and stash as the dude from Hello Neighbor?
Nah, he needs to be like a little more fuller in the cheeks. Luigi here's a motherfucking bowling pin.
Fuck! God damn it!
Well, this is just embarrassing. Or yeah, thumb. I need some full cheeks in my life.
Oh, goodness me, Caleb.
I get it, bro. Sometimes it's a struggle out there. Sometimes you bide your time, or sometimes you gotta go at it. But, I guess best of luck to you in your quest of full cheeks. Here we go. Oh, a speed read? Fuck that. That requires improv. I'm not at that level yet, unfortunately.
So, about the case that the Lord Chief Justice mentioned before.
Nothing to tell, really. As far as we're concerned at the Yard, it couldn't be simpler. The Quest of Full Cheek sounds like an album. The Quest of Full Cheeks. Nah, this requires workshopping. Later, though, later.
Oh dear, that probably means that as far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be any more complicated. I wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling you're right.
Oh man, yeah, it'd just be me doing I Like Big Butts and I Cannot Lie by Sir Mix-a-Lot. It'd either just be me doing that or just like have the sample in there, because I'm just not original. Let's make it happen. Pay me. Then we'd get some effort going. A young woman was walking along the pavement on Briar Road when she was stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but she's still laid up in the hospital, unconscious.
That's despicable! What sort of coward would attack a poor woman from behind? I suppose you would have finished whoever it was off with a Susato takedown, would you? That is neither here nor there, Mr. Naruhodo. Brace yourself, Ryunosuke. You've angered her now. You played an oof, and yet I didn't hear it. It's on. Maybe it just hasn't showed up.
There we go. How many followers till people can sub? You got me there, I don't know. 50 might be the golden number, but I'm just not sure myself.
Anyway, after something of a whirlwind investigation, the criminal was arrested. He barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest. So, there must have been something left at the scene that led you directly to the culprit. Or perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person in question.
Let me stop you right there. You're wasting your time on this one.
Sorry?
There's nothing you can do. There's no way to help the bloke now. Bet. I'll be your first sub. Well, I'd have to reach that point, and that takes followers. Let me just stop you right there. You're not that guy. Trust me, pal. You're not that guy. You're not the Ace Attorney. Oh no.
You guys can both be my first. Why ever not? Simple. The prosecutor that's been assigned to the trial tomorrow is Lord Barak von Zeeks.
No! Shit! God damn it! Oh my goodness. Well, damn. I mean, who could have seen that coming?
Sounds like you've heard of him then. Oh, yes. We are very familiar with Lord Van Zeeks. Believed to be the harbinger of death itself. The reaper of the Old Bailey.
Ooh, we actually get some more backstory. Crazy. He went back for sloppy seconds. Gotta get one win. One win against the amateur.
Lord Barak von Zeeks, who we faced in court only yesterday.
Oh. What the hell was that? Raid? Oh, shit! Yo, Blue Draconics! Hiya, man! Thanks for the raid! Welcome, everybody! Welcome! So glad you could come. Ladies and gentlemen, we have history. The very first raid of the profile. Oh, what's a raid? Oh, well, thank you, Caleb. Thank you for addressing Anetha's comment. Oh! If I could show my totally not crying face, I would. Oh, Chris the Dubstep Shadows. Thank you for the follow. Thank you so much. Welcome to the stream. I'm flattered, really. Thank you so much. Hope you stay and hope you enjoy.
Mr. McGilded told us about him before the trial, didn't he? When Van Ziek stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. And in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. This Reaper of the Bailey nickname, I suppose he's earned that because every defendant he advocates against him is found guilty. Is that it? Well, if that's the case, we should inform you, Inspector, that in yesterday's trial against Lord Van Zieks, Mr. Naruhodo secured a Damn it. Mr. Naruhodo secured a verdict of not guilty.
Huh. And what of it?
I think that means that even against the Reaper of the Bailey, it's not impossible to save the defendant.
No, you really don't have a clue, do you?
What do you mean?
What happened to that bloke in the end, eh? He's dead.
Oh,
Magnus McGilded came a cropper in that omnibus when it went up in flames. Came a cropper? Huh. Alright. So you can't rightfully say you saved the defendant, can you?
What are you saying?
Look, if Van Zieks could get the dirt to stick on everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. But that's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles. He works magic. Black magic. Words are weird. I'd have a good long think about that, if I were you.
Are we really supposed to believe that?
The blacks. That's a good question. Yeah. How funny. Either innocent or black. Oh no. Oh no. Actually, no, there wouldn't be any black people in this game. Here's holding out hope for the sequel.
Why is white chocolate called just white chocolate, but when it can come to dark chocolate, it can be called devil's food?
Think, my brothers and sisters, think!
Oh, that's what you get for going to an HBC, huh?
Ah, but whatever. Right. Well, I've filled you in as requested, and I'm very nearly out of chips. So I'll be heading back to the crime scene now. We're still carrying out a few investigations there. Angel cake and devil's food. Oh! Think about it!
Oh, man. It was Briar Road, you said, didn't you? Where the incident took place.
That's correct, ma'am. And if you head over to the holding cells, you can meet the criminal himself.
You've branded him a criminal already?
He's as good as. Shaking like a leaf in his cell, he is. It'll give you a chuckle, if nothing else. He's inmate 53. Speak to the jailer and he'll show you the way.
Inmate 53. Thank you. And away he goes. So there's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Bailey, they say. Is something troubling you, Mr. Naruhodo?
Dr. Umar's successor. Certainly not, certainly not. I need to, like, shave down the afro, find a way to grow out my beard even more. That's kind of it. I don't really watch Dr. Umar. It's really just one or two memes that I remember. I got the I beg your pardons down. So you know what? I can do that in a jiffy. Shakira is the criminal because her hips don't lie. Now, why are we bringing up Shakira? Why? What's she got to do with this? Are you see? Damn, hold on. You know what? I can't do it one for one because I haven't heard it in a long time. But you know what? Hey, my version. Are you serious, my brother? Are you serious, my brother? There you go. There you go.
Is something troubling you, Mr. Naruhodo? To tell the truth, when I recall the trial yesterday, I can't stop myself from shaking.
9 out of 10. Oh, what do I need for that extra 1 point? But thanks for the high marks.
The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... Well, if you think it's too much for you, there's no shame in turning the case down. That takes courage, too.
But turn it down, then we wouldn't have a game, Susato.
I mean, but if the man they've arrested is innocent... You could well imagine he would be shaking like a leaf in his cell.
A yeet out of 10. What does that mean? Oh boy.
And I, for one, wouldn't find the sight of that funny. So, if I'm honest, I'm still reeling from the shock of yesterday's events myself. And I'm really not sure if I'll be able to help this man, whoever he is. But I'd like to try, so I think I'm going to make some inquiries. Will you help? Did you really think you had to ask? After all, I am your judicial assistant. Thank you. So then, shall we? Yes! Let's go!
Let's go. We on the move. Alright, so where do we go first? The scene of the crime or the prison cell? You miss McGilded? He was never in the slammer to begin with. He was a free man. Well, actually, now that I think about it, they might have just been holding him. So that's fair. I do kind of miss McGilded. I never did get to do an Irish accent. Maybe for good or worse. Who knows? Let's see. What would take... Well, classic Ace Attorney dictates we see the defendant first. So let's do that. Let's see who we're defending. A combination of Red Bull, Monster, and Arizona? Don't die. Please don't die. Check your heart. Who played the Nani? Maya. Nani? Oh, goodness. Alright.
So these are the British prison cells. Oh, they're ghastly. It feels just like a dungeon. Yes, and having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these cold stone walls. Oh, don't, Mr. Naruhodo. You're making it seem worse. Apparently, our client is in this cell here. But it's so dark at the back there, I can't make him out. I wonder what he's like.
Fuck, what do I do for his voice? What do I do for his voice? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Let me think. Fuck it. Going... Son of a bitch! The bailiff! The wrong character. Do an African accent. Oh, goodness. Oh, hey. Dinner. That sounds nice. Inmate 53. Your legal representative is here to see you. Stop by in the back of the cell and show your face at once. I don't know if I can do a consistent African accent. Oh, that'd be hard, though. Fuck it. Go on with it. We'll adapt. Am I a cat? As yet with no name? Calling me by a number. It's utterly, unbelievably, unjustly unreasonable. I refuse to answer. Oh, this is going to be a disaster. What have I done?
Mr. Naruhodo, what? What do you think is going on here? I have no idea, but I wasn't just hearing things, was I? That tirade of complaints
was in Japanese, delivered in a terrible African accent. Oh, okay. Alright, here we go. Excuse me. Shush! Quiet! Who are you looking for, good sir? There's literally nobody. They're all around, hiding. I know they are. They're watching, listening. Even now, I can still sense it. Right. So, could I, there you are! You come to curse me, haven't you? Don't try to hide it. You're a ghost! A ghost? We mean you no harm, prisoner-son. Are you... Japanese, by any chance? Oh, he perked up. It's fucking Nikola Tesla. Oh, goodness. This is beyond my wildest dreams. Forgive me for that outburst before. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's fine. We were just a little surprised, that's all. Imagine it! It's been 12 long months since I left my hometown, and here I am, in a frightful fix on a foreign land! So hearing the sweet, sentimental tones of a compatriot's voice in this damp, dark hellhole was a most monumentally moving moment! Why does it sound like Mario? Oh, it's that bad? You know what? Fuck it. I think I can maybe do Italian. Who would have guessed that this new client Lord Strongheart assigned to us would turn out to be a fellow Japanese? Ah, what compassion my fellow countrymen show.
to dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to defend a mere foreign student. Noble, nurturing, never failing, Nippon! Oh, goodness. A first-class lawyer? Oh dear. I think there's been something of a misunderstanding here. I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what's happened? Why you've been detained as a suspect, for example?
He's eccentric like Holmes. This is a competition. I think Holmes will win out in the end, because I think all this dude has are these poses. But you know what? Nah, it's Holmes. He might be a relative of Holmes.
Yes, yes, I can, I will. Shan't stay sullen and silent. Oh, what a joy.
What a joy.
I'm not quite sure I understand what he means, but he seems happy. Yes, he does. I just hope he actually has a good reason to be. Thank you for your cooperation. I am a lawyer, as you said. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. And I am Naruhodo-san's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotoba. I am a visiting student, sent here by our government. Notoriously named Natsume. Soseki Natsume.
Well, alrighty then. Check out my cool badge, my guy.
Yes! Yes! The symbol of one of our great empire's first-rate lawyers. Which means, of course, you'll stand by my side. You'll defend me. Oh, no, sorry. That wasn't why I was showing you.
Okay, bitch.
Then why else would you show me that? Oops. In hindsight, that probably wasn't the best idea.
This may be the very first person. No, that's a lie. Never mind me. So what's your dealio, good sir? I know this dude sees the pun in Naruhodo's name. Wait, does Ryunosuke Naruhodo have like a pun in it? It wouldn't surprise me, but I haven't looked up what exactly Ryunosuke would mean in Japanese.
Soseki Natsume-san? What an unusual name. Call me Soseki, please. I'm a poet, you see. A writer of haiku. It's something of a nom de plume. A nom de plume? You mean an alias?
Oh yeah, I know Naruhodo means, yeah, I see and I understand. But does Ryunosuke mean anything? I guess that was the part I was more curious about.
That's right, Naruhodo-san. No, no, no! Don't be prosaic. It's much more refined than that. And haiku. That really reminds me of home. Did I hear you say that you were a visiting student, sent over here by the government? Yes, yes, that's right. A year ago, I was told to go and study English.
Son of Dragon? Huh.
Son of Dragon.
That's interesting.
Out of curiosity, what does Ryuichi mean?
Because that's Phoenix Wright's Japanese like first name.
First I had to suffer that misery, and now this! It's beyond the pale! Suffer that misery? Did you not want to study here? No! I did it. No! I mean, I've had an interest in Great Britain for some years, of course.
Oh.
What? Just because the government tells you to do something doesn't mean you can do it. No. What do you mean? If they told me to study English literature, that I could have understood. That's my field.
Were you each dragon one? Or one dragon? The one dragon? It's me, a Soseki! Yeah, Natsume Soseki was an actual person. I do remember that. Thanks for the lessons.
But no! They told me to study the English language. Utterly, unbelievably, unjustly, unreasonable! I see. You had it rough, buddy. Only the other day, I was told to send a report about my first year here. I tendered a blank piece of paper. Wise words on white washi!
First dragon? Yeah. I guess that'd sound about right. Perhaps, perhaps. Also, peep his left hand. Got him.
You must be a man of great standing. Oh, yes. So I'm often told. And often like to be told, it seems. Could you perhaps tell us exactly why you've been arrested, Soseki-san? I didn't do it! I didn't commit that atrocious murder! A murder? Oh, no, it's alright. The woman didn't actually die, did she? But she was stabbed with a knife right before my eyes! Before your eyes? You mean you saw the attacker?
It's above the hip.
I didn't see anyone. What? If I'd seen the person who did it, do you think I'd be locked up in here? Oh dear. It seems this case is becoming rather complicated. Why me? Oh, why me? Why did that silly woman have to be stabbed in front of me? It's the curse of London. It's incredibly, inexhaustibly, irritatingly inconvenient. So Soseki-san was there at the scene, but he didn't see the attacker? It's vital that we found out more about the case. So, about the case. It was an accursed evening, just after the snow had started to clear and heavy with fog. I'd been to the bookshop to buy some books, and I was on my way back to my accursed lodgings. Sure, the bookshop wasn't accursed too. As I was walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out a sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman, wearing a green overcoat she was, and just as I went to overtake her... Oh... She suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed onto the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet.
Soseki may not hate life, Caleb. Life just hates Soseki.
How terrible. I called out to the woman, but she didn't move. It was like a ghostly, ghoulish, grim graveyard. Slight exaggeration there, perhaps. I was terrified. I had to get away from there. So I ran as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings. That's not good. They'll say it was shameful, I know, to run away like that. Tell me, Soseki-san, was the victim an acquaintance of yours? Don't be ridiculous! Do you think I know any of these fair-haired English? And a young woman at that. I'm different, shy, timid, unsure. I can't talk to people.
She must have been the backbone of society.
I see. A young woman, unknown to Soseki-san. At the time of it happened, who else did you see nearby? Did anybody pass you? Regrettably, apart from myself and the woman, I didn't see a soul. No one? Oh, great. So the victim was unknown to you, and there was nobody else on the street at the time. That creates something of a conundrum, doesn't it? What conundrum? So about this conundrum. What do you mean, Susato-san? What's the conundrum? Well, if what Soseki-san had just told us is true, there's something I can't explain. He says that he didn't know the victim, and that there was no one else at the scene. Then he apparently fled without having been seen. I did! But if that's the case, surely this man has to be the culprit. Ah! You! What did you just say? Nothing. I didn't say anything. Oops. Perhaps I thought that a little loudly.
How did you do that? It's in your thoughts. Only you could hear it. Is he whispering under his breath? Is that what it is?
Actually, that's not what was troubling me. What I was thinking was, how did Soseki-san actually come to be arrested? Sorry? He didn't touch the victim, and there was nobody at the scene to see him. So how did the police ever discover that he was there in the first place? Oh yes, she's right. It was him. That accursed green detective. He led the police to me. Of all the bad luck. Accursed green detective? Could it be? I shall never forget that man's name as long as I live. With his hearty laugh and his self-proclaimed greatness. Brash, big-headed, busybody, begone! May you be cursed until the end of your days, Sherlock Holmes! I knew it! Mr. Sholmes? God damn it.
Oh boy.
Well, I didn't expect to hear that name from this man's lips, that's for sure. It was the morning after that nightmare had unfolded on the pavement before me. I was gnawing on it like a... I was gnawing on a sliver of hard cheese when some men suddenly burst in through the door. They started shouting at me. This is the police. Put the weapon down. Yes, it was a thin sliver. And yes, it was hard. But I wasn't eating a weapon.
Enthusiastic clapping.
Herlock don't miss.
Maybe.
Disgusting dietary discrimination devils! You clearly had a trying morning yesterday. And there he was, in the middle of all the policemen, grinning like a Cheshire cat. That Sherlock Sholmes! It's actually just Sherlock Sholmes. He's English. I've since found out that he's a famous name in detection here in London.
I wish there was an applause soundbite. I could have sworn. Did I not add that? I mean, you could try the hype air horn. That's like the closest you're gonna get.
I'll keep that in mind. Yes, the great detective is really very well known. And his overly sharp mind managed to deduce my whereabouts, apparently.
There it is. Thank you, Maya.
He thinks I'm the knife-wielding madman! Me! This weak, stooped kitten of a man! I wonder what great deduction process led him to his conclusion this time.
It was so late. It's the thought that counts, damn it.
Do you mean to say that Mr. Sholmes' deduction was the only reason the police arrested you? That would be really most unreasonable.
Yeah, Susato with the shade. Susato with the shade.
Well, the thing is...
Alright. And there we are with the objection.
I find that really objectionable. Sherlock Sholmes making sense without us on the field?
Crazy. Objection to that.
I was thrown into a panic when they barged their way in. Of course you were. That's only natural. I was terrified and trembling, and they kept throwing question after question at me in impossible English. Fiendish foreign film flammery.
Film flammery?
Well, we are in England. You can't really blame them for questioning you in English. Good point, good point. But my mind went blank. I knew I had to answer, but I didn't know what to say. So I just kept repeating things like, yes, I do, and I'm fine. The next thing I knew, I was in manacles, and before I knew it, I was thrown in here. Oh dear, I'm afraid that's hardly surprising. I'm fine? He's not fine now. He's got bags under his eyes, and his eyes are twitching. Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! Oh, you can just call me Naruhodo. And when we're speaking English, a simple Mr. is more than enough. Oh, yes. Alright. Yes. They've really got to me. This country is poisoning my mind. But please, I beg you to defend me in court tomorrow. You can tell them what really happened. You'll do it, won't you? Well, Why? Why? Why is it so hard to say yes to me? Well, the thing is, I'm just a student like yourself, on a study tour. A student? I have defended a case in the Old Bailey. Only the one, though. But at this moment in time, I really don't know what I'm supposed to believe in. I'm confused about what justice in this country even means. Oh, Naruhodo-san. I'm not even the foreign student who was supposed to be here. I'm a sort of locum lawyer, I suppose. But that armband! That's the mark of a defense lawyer from our great empire! It's a keepsake from the man who should be here. He was my best friend. A keepsake? I know exactly what they're saying about me. Oh, who do you mean? The lawyers. All the British defense lawyers. They won't defend me. Goodness, why do you say that? For the same reason as you noted before, when it happened. There was only the victim and myself around, and I ran away from the scene of the crime. I'm not a fool. I know it looks as though I must be the culprit. It must be very hard for you, Soseki-san.
Wait, who was what? Who was that? Who was that? I don't think anybody else appeared.
And anyway, I'm a student from overseas. I'm just a foreign nobody to them. Someone not to be trusted. I heard them openly laughing about me before, in my earshot, without any compunction at all. Any trial for this man would be a waste of time, they said. And, of course, the foreigner did it. He even had the gall to say, that man doesn't understand half of what's being said to him anyway. That's awful. They're wrong! I've studied more English than half of the policemen out there on the streets.
Oh, who does the armband belong to? Our unfortunate deceased friend Kazuma Asoki, who helped us defend ourselves in the first case, but then found himself to be the victim in the second case. He was cool. Rest in peace to a real one. Shoutouts to the boy.
I've traveled halfway around the world to learn about these people's country and its great history.
Debbie, welcome back. Oh no, put your hammer away.
But no one here wants to listen to a man with a strange accent. They all hate me. So, at the very least, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who can listen to me in my native tongue. You could do it, couldn't you? When I look into your eyes, I can see it. I can see what you've been through. Soseki-san, it's just that... Give me a little time, please. I'll do what I can, for the time being. What do you mean? We shall investigate the case as thoroughly as possible. If we can find some clues, it will give us a much better chance, I'm sure. Oh, yes, thank you. I'll be here, all alone, waiting for you. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. We should be going then, Naruhodo-san. We have a case to prepare for.
Peace, dog. We're coming in with the good stuff, but we gotta get through this investigation first. We'll get there in due time. Alrighty then. The foggy streets of London. Golly gee willikers, this is well, I was going to say shit. It's not too shit. It's alright. Another, please translate. Pretty please.
So this is where it happened. Briar Road. Ah, look, Mr. Naruhodo. Look at that regulation metalhead helmet. It's unmistakable. The men of Scotland Yard are here. They're investigating as we speak. That is their job, you know. But Mr. Naruhodo, to see one with my own eyes, They're often depicted in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, but I never dreamt I'd ever come this close. To a real Bobby's helmet! What? The helmet? Of course. I have to try one on today. Or one day.
She's saying make me tap out. What? Omnibus is ruined for me? Can I swap Nandi out for Susato? No, come on! That's terrible!
Susato's not even real, it just wouldn't work.
We only have this game. But, I don't think I should be commenting on that any further. So, you do you, my guy, and best of luck in the future.
Well, I hope your Hattie dream comes true.
Oh. Hello?
What's the Japanese delegation doing here? Oh, Inspector Gregson.
This isn't on the tourist trail, as I'm fairly sure you're well aware.
Yes, of course. We're here to investigate.
So you've been holding cell. You've been to the holding cells, then. What'd you make of the criminal?
He's not a criminal as you put it, Inspector. He's a suspect.
We'll see about that. You Japanese like to stick together, I suppose. Well, do what you will. It doesn't bother me. The bloke's in court tomorrow, whatever happens. And the verdict's a foregone conclusion.
Ugh. The stone-cold air of rejection. Take heart. London at this time of year is full of stone-cold air.
Wait. Oh, you translate. Oh, I'm just now noticing. Thanks, Blue Draconics. You've been translating. Fair enough, fair enough. Good on you. Oh. We speaking Japanese in the chat? Look at that. Culture. That's what we like to see.
That makes it worse somehow.
Alright, do we converse? Or do we investigate first? Bars. Let's see. I guess we should investigate first. Let's start over here with this horse.
Oh, that's a Scotland Yard carriage. They use vehicles like that to rush to crime scenes and cart away criminals. You're very well informed, aren't you? It's long been a dream of mine to ride one of those through the streets of London.
Well, just pick up a stone and throw it through one of the windows then. Yeah? Yeah, Ryunosuke? Yeah. Oh God. Predictable. How did I know? Oh my goodness.
But that would mean being arrested in order to ride it, wouldn't it? Still, if it's the only way, help me find a good stone.
No, I wasn't serious. God, she really considered it. This girl, I swear. What a card.
Oh, what a delightful snowman! I didn't realize the English had a tradition of making snowmen as well. It looks a little creepy, though. Oh, it has a scarf, look! You need one if you were to... You need one if you were out in this freezing cold all the time. I wish I had one. Yeah, we are in February. Snow would start coming down by now. I'm afraid our budget is somewhat frozen at the moment, too. We certainly can't afford a scarf. We can't afford scarves? What is this trash-ass fucking stipend that they got?
Well, I guess they did blow it on a night of good hotel lodging. But to not even be able to afford a scarf. What a shame, what a shame.
Surely the snowman here wouldn't miss his.
Fucking renegade Ryunosuke, here we are. Just do crimes. Get maximum enjoyment out of life.
But the person who made the snowman certainly would. Yes, I know. You're right. Anyway, even if I borrowed it, it wouldn't do much to warm my neck, would it? It's covered in snow. Fuck going on over here? This patch of pavement must be where the incident occurred. Yes, it's a very wide open space, isn't it? That's true. I can't see anywhere an attacker would have been hiding.
Oi! What are you foreigners doing here?
We
Conspiring with that mustache fella from Japan, are you?
conspiring.
Come here to destroy evidence, have you? Get out of here before I get... I just cannot read the slang. Get out of here before I give you an Iden? Hidden? I don't fucking know. Get on out of here before I give you Iden. Go on.
He shoot us away like rats. Yes, we should give him a wide berth, I think. What a disappointing experience.
Oh boy. Daily News, the Metropolitan? William Robbins. Camerson. Willis something or other. Let's look over here. What have we got? What have we got? I know, right? The nerve of people. We weren't even doing nothing. We're just looking.
The clouds look so big and heavy in the sky, don't they? And with the dense fog as well, everything looks hazy. Well, it is known as Foggy London Town. I can just make out some sort of spire through the fog. It looks like it's still being built, though. Aha! Yes, that must be the Crystal Tower, being built for the Great Exhibition that's opened in 6 months' time. Apparently it's going to be very striking, glazed on all sides, and the symbolic centerpiece of the exhibition. It's to be the largest exposition in history, is it? I can't even begin to imagine it.
Well, this foreshadowing is fucking cool. Oh my god, look at this fucking water painting street. Or watercoloring, whichever it was.
There are piles of snow on the pavement here and there, but the road itself is covered in carriage tracks. It seems carriages often travel down Briar Road. It soon disperses all the snow. I slipped over when I was walking down the pavement earlier. It seems it would be far safer to walk on the road instead. Oh, but you're rather small, Mr. Naruhodo, and dressed in all black. I worry coachmen might not see you, and you could be flattened by horses.
Hey.
Well, thank you for the rather small concern.
Oh, what do we have here?
Oh, look at the windows of that building there.
That's not what we were looking at. There's a bent fence. How dare you? Is that the Capitol building in the back?
No, it's just something that looks very similar, you see. Are you sure they're windows? Yes, but they're all filled in with bricks. Oh, you're right. I wonder why. Perhaps it's an empty property where nobody lives at the moment. There's smoke coming from the chimneys, though. Oh dear, everything still feels very foreign. There's so much we have to learn about this place.
Culture shock in its purest form.
Oh, a British bicycle, look! Although the wheel is so misshapen, I'm sure it couldn't possibly be ridden anymore. Someone must have been doing some breakneck cycling. It seems bicycles have become extremely popular in London recently. There's even a movement to change women's dress to allow them to ride as well. The bicycle fad won't last. I don't see why anyone would want to ride something like that. Goodness, do you dislike bicycles? No, not at all. I mean, it's not that I dislike them exactly. It's just that any occupation that involves taking both your feet off firm ground seems reckless. If you'd ever try walking on stilts and fall into a river, I know you'd agree with me. We'll have to hire a bicycle sometime. You can sit behind me while I ride you around.
Oh, that'd be nice. Bicycles are fun. Quick anecdote, like when quarantine started, and we all were trying to find something else to do, I initially took to badminton first with the family, but then just offhand, my dad was like, "Hey, I want to fix up these bicycles just as a little project," and I thought, it's been a minute since I rode a bike. That'd be fun. So we fixed up our 2 bikes. We went biking for like a few days. And I forgot how tiring that is. You get around places, but woof. Leg strength was needed on those days. Very tiring stuff. Okay, but like, why is the audio like still going out like that? What's the problem here? All of reality is collapsing. 'Cause fuck your bicycle story.
Oh. That's a rather typical old brick building, isn't it? I'm sure it has a long and interesting history. Well, time certainly seems to have taken its toll on the place. It's crooked and sagging all over.
It's rather crooked.
In fact, it looks indecidedly.
Not sure why that's 2 words, but whatever. All in favor of biking to Matthew? You'd take a minute. A very long minute. But you can find a path. I wouldn't recommend it, though.
In fact, it looks indecidedly worse shaped than the other houses around here. We must find some cheap lodgings ourselves as soon as possible. Yes, you're right. Cheap, but ideally with reasonably level floors.
I guess that's it. But why can't we examine the fence? Look at it! It's so suspicious. I guess it's just that fucked up. Alright, Greg. I. Gentrification? Well, no. Huh. Oh, it's been a minute since I remember gentrification. I mean, it looks old. It's not exactly a case of someone wanting to claim it. It just looks like it's just been abandoned. Someone's occupying it, potentially. So I don't think it's gentrification.
I could be wrong, though. Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector. Ever since I read about it in The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I've been fascinated by the place.
The Yard is the most sophisticated policing organization you'll find anywhere in the world, man.
Oh, and you know I've always dreamt about wearing a real Bobby's helmet. It does make them look the part, seeing that policeman there with his helmet on. You certainly get the sense that this is a man who will take no nonsense in his duty of protecting the city. Oh, yes! Doesn't he look wonderful?
Being a London Bobby is hard going, I can tell you.
Oh, really?
First thing in the morning. God damn it, I gotta do it. Top of the morning, at the top of the morning, top of the morning. Let's get it done,
Top of the morning, let's get it done, yes! Oh, shit.
First thing in the morning, you know what he does? Goes round and rouses all the laborers on his beat, so they can get off to work.
What? He wakes people up?
Yep. Raps on their windows with a long pole. Did it myself going back a bit.
I had no idea.
The Bobby works for the people of the town. It's just another one of his duties. And after that, he starts tirelessly patrolling the streets all day long. He has to cover 20 miles a day. That's the regulation distance.
I can't really imagine how far that is, but it sounds like a long way.
20 miles? They're really killing folk. Ugh, that's terrible. Well, I guess in a city this big, you need endurance to get around in case of emergencies or crimes happening. And there's no vehicles in sight, which weren't the norm back then.
Let me see. 20 miles. That's approximately the distance from Tokyo to Yokohama.
On foot? That's definitely taking things a step too far, but dumb Tish. And when it gets dark, of course, he has the important job of lighting all the gas street lamps.
Oh my. And I suppose in between all of those duties...
Oh, goodness.
Bobbies are expected to investigate cases as well. And chase after criminals trying to evade the law.
I'm not sure you could call it in between exactly. More alongside. But yes. They're expected to handle those jobs as well. We do have men keeling over from time to time, I admit. Well, of course they'd be keeling over. That's 20 miles a day. And no one's mentioned any refreshments.
I'd always dreamt of wearing one of those helmets, as I said. But it's with a heavy heart that I shall have to relinquish that dream to you, Mr. Naruhodo.
Your heavy heart will be my heavy head if you do. Where's some water? It happened at around 5 in the evening, 2 days ago. Just there on that open bit of pavement. The victim was a young woman that was stabbed with a blade from behind.
Is it right that the lady is still unconscious now? You mentioned that she's being treated in a hospital.
I never said she was a lady. Truth is, unless she comes around pretty smartish, we won't be able to find out much about her at all.
I suppose that means they haven't been able to take a statement from her, of course.
Here's a map of the local area I happen to have on me. You can take it if you want.
Really? Are you sure?
It's yard policy to give lawyers defendant suspects the odd bit of information to go on.
I haven't exactly accepted the job yet, but still. Thank you, Inspector. We'll gratefully accept it.
Here's the map, here's the map, here's the map, here's the map. Anyway, as far as we know, there was no one else on the scene other than the victim and your fellow countrymen. So who did it, do you think? Not much of a head-scratcher, is it?
Well, I know Mr. Natsume is also claiming to have not seen anyone else around, but just because he didn't see anyone, it doesn't mean we can't be sure that nobody else was present.
I'm sorry to have to tell you, but we most certainly can be sure.
How?
Because, ma'am, the precise moment of the stabbing didn't go unnoticed.
What?
We have 2 very reliable witnesses, no less. Where have I heard this story before? It was a typical foggy London day, and your client obviously didn't see them.
There were witnesses now?
I'm not gonna say what. Not gonna say what.
Who are these witnesses, Inspector?
A fellow and his wife. And the man's one of the most reliable and respected citizens in all of London.
Don't tempt me? Well, don't force yourself.
He's a copper from Scotland Yard.
A policeman? That might change things. And this policeman just happened to be there at the exact moment when the woman was attacked?
Nothing peculiar about that, ma'am. Part and parcel of being a bobby. Catching them bang in the act and all.
Do you think it might be possible for us to ask that policeman a few questions?
Be my guest. You can ask him what you like. In court tomorrow.
Oh, of course.
How could there be witnesses if they said Soseki was the only one there? Well, Soseki believes that no one else was there other than the victim. Why didn't police do anything? Well, aren't we thinking ahead? Look at you.
Why didn't he do anything? Indeed.
I've no doubt he'll be summoned as a witness. So, that'll give you something to look forward to.
That's that then. He's got no mention of letting us meet the man beforehand, it seems. A policeman witnessed the incident. As your judicial assistant, I must warn you that this could make our job very difficult indeed. Yes, as a non-judicial assistant, I could have warned me of that too. Oh, yes. One more thing, Inspector.
What?
The person who led you to the suspect. I hear that it was Mr. Herlock
Sherlock Holmes? Who's that? I never heard of no dude whose name like that.
I hear that it was Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
What are you bringing him up for?
Was it something I said? The colors drained from his cheeks.
Alright. I've perked up. Who did you hear that name from?
Oh, well, it was Mr. Natsume who mentioned it. He said that Mr. Sholmes was with the police when they entered his lodgings. I'm sure it was the result of one of Mr. Sholmes' inspirational great deductions.
Fiddle faddle bullshit! The man's an amateur, and I'm getting sick and tired of him showing his mug everywhere.
Oh,
I don't know where he gets this information from, but he turns up at the scene of the crime, wanders around spouting incomprehensible rubbish, and before you know it, he claims to have solved the case.
yes, he's quite astounding, isn't he? He is a great help to Scotland Yard, though, isn't he?
Gibble gabble.
Oh,
Ever seen this before?
oh, yes, that's Ranced magazine. The wonderful publication in which the adventures of Sherlock Holmes appears.
Yes, well, that wonderful publication, as you put it, sees fit to include several of the Yard's detectives in its stories. And the so-called great detective makes a mockery of all of us. If you ask anyone at the Yard, it's a misadventure to be included in any of Sherlock Holmes' tale at all.
Well, I suppose there's an element of that.
We work our socks off, every one of us, only to be frumped by the public thanks to that obnoxious detective. That man is as dangerous to us as Scotland Yard as he is to all our criminals. Jesus, man.
That can't really be true, can it, Inspector? Clearly, the great detective and the police have a complex relationship.
That twitchy Japanese bloke goes on trial tomorrow. Are you going to defend him or not?
Well,
Makes no difference to me, but I will just say this. No London lawyer worth his salt would touch that case with a barge pole.
because the prosecution is being handled by the Reaper of the Bailey, you mean?
There's no way to save that man now. It's a waste of time trying. It is all a bit strange, though.
Sorry?
The Reaper. He hasn't appeared in court once for a good few years now.
Yes, we did hear something to that effect.
And the only people he usually bothers with are the real scum. The master criminals. The violent ones.
Master criminals? The violent ones?
The belligerent beings! The awful bunch. The conflicting clump. Fuck it, forget it. That's right. He handpicks his victims. Only deals with those guaranteed to go to the gallows for their sins.
But Mr. Natsume wouldn't hang for what he's accused of, surely.
That's just my point, sunshine. Yes, the young woman was stabbed, but it didn't kill her. Couldn't even say the intent was there. So this isn't the sort of case I'd be expecting the Reaper to want to sink his teeth into, for want of a better phrase.
Well, it's not exactly a minor infraction, is it? No, there's got to be more to it. Some reason he's taken an interest. Really? What sort of reason, Inspector? You think I can tell what's going on inside the head of that Lord of Darkness? You'll have to ask him yourself at tomorrow's trial. Are we really going to have to face the Reaper again? The Lord of Darkness, as he put it? Well, I don't think we're going to get any more useful information out of the detective.
Why does it have to be darkness? I don't know. Grim Reaper, darkness, motifs. Or something or other. Shadows or something.
Mr. Naruhodo, can I make a suggestion? Oh, yes, what is it? Well, it seems to me that we must speak with him about this. By him, do you mean Mr. Sholmes? Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, exactly. Look at those shining eyes. You can't wait, can you? Well, Mr. Nutsmade did blame Mr. Sholmes for all of this, didn't he? Yes, he did. He really did. Which makes him an involved party in the case. Are you just going to ignore that? I hope not. I assure you, it's simply not my selfish desire to meet Mr. Sholmes again. The trouble is, we have no idea of the man's address even. It's Baker Street! How do you know that? It's in his stories, of course. 221B Baker Street, the most famous address in the world. Oh, I see. Well, there's nothing to stop us from going, I suppose. We'd better try to find our way there before Susato-san gets any more excited and unpredictable. Hurrah! I'll summon a carriage! So, we're to have a reunion already, with the great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Well, Gregson, I guess we're about to pay the man a visit. Here comes the boy.
Thank you very much. It's just up there overlooking the street. Good day. Thanks again. This is it. The residence of Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Okay, here we are. Wait, did we really just stroll into his house? No one to meet at the door? Was it just unlocked?
So this is where the great detective makes his living. It feels surreal to be here somehow. Ah. Is it as described in the stories, Mr. Sato?
Herlock, we're home!
Susato-san? Many famous cases have been solved here in this very room. Oh, I suppose they must have been, yes. I've never read the stories, so it's hard to get quite as excited as she seems to be. The detective chases the villain relentlessly as he disappears into the fog down an unlit London street. Oh, the thrill of it! The romanticism! Can't you feel your heart thumping in your chest? Can't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, I suppose I can, yes. So, if you don't mind, I'll just stand here and soak up the atmosphere for a while longer. Please, don't mind me. Ah, she's obsessed. Well, it looks like our detective friend isn't home at present. Excuse me, is anybody home? Oh, do we have a visitor? Hello, is it a big new case for Mr. Sholmes? Hello. Wait, aren't you... Oh, how rude of me. I'll go and make some tea at once. I'm sure it's the same girl. Miss Susato, did you see the girl who was just here? Oh, yes. Isn't it truly extraordinary? To think that the King of Bohemia came to this very room to ask Mr. Sholmes to take on his case. The King of Bavaria? King Wilhelm Gostrick... I tried to do it. Never mind. I got I got assaulted by words. King Wilhelm Gottschalk Sigismund von Ormstein. King Wilhelm Gottschalk Sigismund of Ormstein. But of course, him... Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Forget the adventures of Herlock Sholmes for a moment, and look over there. The tea's brewed, and I have a freshly baked cake as well. Oh, it's you. I knew it. Susato-san recognizes her too. Ah, there you are. And taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial run of my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Oh, good day to you. I'm, well, the inventor, I suppose, of that machine. It's the girl who turned up at the end of Mr. McGilded's trial in the defendant's antechamber. I've never... My voice is peaking with this. Hopefully it's not too loud. I've never met a lawyer from the Far East before. Poor you, having to get straight to work when you've only just arrived in London. Oh, yes, it was challenging. Well, try this tea. It's my special blend, you know. Oh, thank you. Is tea supposed to look that color? Yeah, we covered the ending of the last case. Well, case 3 rather. Oh my, what a fragrant yellow yet mellow flavor. Hooray! It's a winner! I tried blending different leaves designed to alleviate fatigue, you see. You must be exhausted after your long voyage here. And you have another ticklish trial tomorrow. Oh, and you're to defend a Japanese man. I do wish you lots and lots of luck. Did Mr. Sholmes tell you about us by any chance? Oh, you know Hurley, do you?
Hurley? Mr. Sholmes to you, surely.
Mr. Sholmes was a fellow passenger on the boat that brought us to Great Britain, you see.
Ah, Sonic. Yeah, I did notice you were playing Sonic Robo Blast 2 Kart. I need to check that out one day. Oh, wait, hold up. Did I read the last line? Yeah, I did. It's okay.
Was he really? Well, I had no idea. I'm afraid Hurley's out on an errand again today, even though he's just returned from overseas.
Wait a minute.
We met this girl for the first time ever yesterday at the trial, and only briefly at that. How on earth does she know so much about us? Did she deduce all of those things, do you think? And perhaps more to the point, why is she here in Mr. Sholmes' suite? Oh, silly me! I haven't introduced myself, have I? It's a great pleasure to meet you both. My name is Iris Wilson.
He'll show up. Wait! He's literally going to show up in this scene. It's okay.
I live here together with Hurley. Ah, Iris, is it? What a lovely name. What? What's the matter? No, wait. This can't be. Did you say that your name is Wilson? What's the matter with Susato-san? Why is she so flustered all of a sudden? Yes, that's right. And what are your names? Oh, I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a lawyer from Japan. Oh, sorry. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotoba. It's wonderful to meet you. Lovely! Susie and Runo. Got it.
Susie and Runo. How adorable.
Susie? And Runo? There's more to this girl than meets the eye. I have so many questions for her, I don't know where to start. Yes, and so do I.
Well, after a quick save, but let's get to talking. Imagine having your whole name changed. Yeah, it's called a nickname. You know, it's a very common thing. It's okay.
It was you that we ran into yesterday, wasn't it? At the Old Bailey. Yes, that's right. You were ever so helpful. Thank you so much. Oh no, not at all. I'm so sorry we couldn't have been more welcoming. Though at the time, we did have a rather large gun pointed at us. Like this? Ugh. Thinking back now, you left with Miss Lestrade in tow, didn't you? Oh, yes. That awkward witness, Gina Lestrade. Oh, Ginny? Yes, she's a professional pickpocket. So we found out. It was very naughty of her to pinch my invention like that. Are you referring to that trial-disrupting gun-like contraption? Exactly! So I followed her, you see, to get it back. Perhaps I should think about fitting a self-destruct mechanism in my inventions. This girl is dangerous. Oh, goodness. Anyway, I brought Ginny back here after that, so she could apologize to my trusty technician. Sorry, your technician? Hurley, of course, silly.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
That girl is poison. Hurley? Yes, Herlock. Herlock Sholmes. We live here together. I had no idea the great detective had such an interesting young daughter. Daughter? Not likely.
What?
I wouldn't call him Hurley if he was my father, would I? Well then, what is your relationship to Mr. Sholmes? Well, I expect you found out that lodgings of any kind in London are very expensive. So the solution is to share the cost with a partner, a roommate. Your roommates?
And they were roommates.
I hope you don't mind me asking, Iris, but how old are you? 10 at last this year. FBI, open up!
Oh dear. Whoa.
Well, what of your mother and father? Oh no, they're not around. Oh, I see. I wonder what the story is there.
I'm sick of all of these lollies. As far as I know, she's the only one. Is Herlock a groomer? I don't know. I'm scared.
Oh yes, there's something I must ask you. Of course, of course. Go ahead, Susie. I'm a very great fan of the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, and... Oh!
Oh my goodness, I hit my thingy! Okay. There we go.
Oh! You have a copy of the Rants magazine! Yes, I read every issue. It's delivered all the way to Japan on a ship. Oh, this is so exciting! My stories are being read on the other side of the world. My stories? That's right. Hurley is always solving such amazing cases, you see, and he tells me all about them. They really are quite fascinating. It would be such a shame if I was the only one who had ever heard them, don't you think? Goodness! Last night, he was telling me all about this new case he'd just solved on a steamship traveling from a faraway land. So I was just in the middle of typing up the manuscript for the next issue before you came.
Hey, yeah, this tap dancer's going hard in the background.
So you are the author? Yes, I'll let you in on a secret if you like. I'm going to call this latest adventure The Speckled Band. The Speckled Band? That's certainly very familiar. Of course, I always change one or two details in the stories, here and there. This time, I had the idea of making a venomous snake be the cause of all the trouble. Oh, that was Mr. Sholmes' first thought as well, actually. Yes, and of course I know that the snake might not be credible fit for the facts of the case exactly, but it's a story. Some poetic license is justified to make it more thrilling, I think. Don't you? So, do you mean to say, are these stories about Mr. Sholmes that are published in the Rants magazine? All written by me? Yes, on my wonderful and very modern typewriter. But all the stories I've ever read are written by a doctor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson. Susato-san's getting more and more worked up. Yes, that's me. I mean, my name really is Wilson. But what about the doctor of medicine part? That's all true too. I am a doctor of medicine. No, at 10 years old. At 10 years old? Well, that's quite incredible. But, Dr. Wilson is an English gentleman. Yes. I did alter the setting slightly, for the stories to be more compelling. Oh? Well, it sounds a little strange, doesn't it? A great detective with a 10-year-old girl in tow.
So she's mentally at least 30? Maybe. The education speedrun. A prodigy in the making. I guess already made. She's got the doctorate if she's calling herself doctor.
I suppose it does, yes. Poor Susato-san. She looks like her whole world has just fallen apart.
Everything I know is a lie. Who is playing this carnival music in the background? Make it stop! Oh, goodness.
About before.
She's Ace Attorney's Miles Tales per hour. Yeah, super young. Makes inventions. 2 pieces of hair. Fucking, I don't know.
About before. Yes? What's on your mind, Runo? Do tell me. How did you know? That I was a lawyer. And we just arrived in London, I mean. Yes. Oh, and that we have a difficult trial tomorrow. How did you know all that? Oh, that's what you mean. Please, tell us how you did it. Explain every detail. Of course, I'd be delighted. Although, there's really no mystery. Now, let's begin. Iris Wilson is proud to present her Logic and Reasoning Spectacular.
Oh shit, we've been taken to the shadow beyond. This new realm. Ah shit, is there fucking domain expansion from Jujutsu? What powers?
First of all, I knew already that you were a lawyer, Runo. After all, I met you yesterday at the Old Bailey in the defendant's antechamber. But you also said that we'd only just arrived in London. How did you know that? I observed a passport and travel ticket protruding from your breast pocket. Oh. So I was reasonably confident that you must have only just arrived in the country. And on top of that, you accepted a case against that particular prosecutor, telling me you were unaware of London's court affairs. The Reaper of the Bailey? I walked right into that one, didn't I? Then I noticed a red ink stamp on the back of Susie's hand. You were given that when you visited the local prison to meet with the suspect, weren't you? Earlier today. Oh. They use those stamps to keep a close eye on comings and goings, you see. I didn't realize. And a red stamp is only used for people visiting foreign inmates. So, that told me that even though you had only yesterday concluded the trial with Magnus Begilded, the two of you had already had cause to visit a foreign inmate in a local prison. However, neither of you was wearing a particularly sad expression on your face, so I concluded that the prisoner was unlikely to be a friend or a relative. That led me to believe that you must have accepted a new case. I see. But how could you have known that the trial is tomorrow? Well, having barely been home a few hours yesterday, Hurley solved yet another case. It obviously amused him. He told me that he had caught a Japanese man who was bawling and trembling. A Japanese man? Well, clearly that must have been Mr. Natsume. Now, Runo has that fancy Japanese sword. And I think your outfit is a kimono, isn't it, Susie? Well, anyway, it was clear to me that you both come from Japan yourselves. So I put two and two together and decided you must be defending a Japanese man Hurley caught. And there was only one conclusion those facts could lead me to. You both came here to ask Hurley about the case. There's a note on the mantelpiece that says the man's trial will be tomorrow. Hurley is always stabbing his notes with a knife, you know. He is silly. And that's all there really was to it. Thank you for listening. I'm Iris Wilson, and that was one of my great deductions. Well, was it a winner? Were my deductions correct? They were spot on. That was amazing, Iris. Truly a great deduction. You even managed the certain something of Mr. Sholmes' delivery. Oh, well, I was just copying Hurley's style for that. This is really good news. You could tell us all about the case involving the Japanese man. You will, won't you, Iris? Please.
Sick! New info, new info, new info.
I'm Iris Wilson, and thank you for coming to me TED Talk. So, yesterday, Mr. Sholmes apprehended a Japanese man, you were saying? Yes. Hurley had just arrived back in London after his sea voyage. But the police were waiting for him at the railway station to take him directly to the crime scene. Ah, the great detective is a popular man, it seems. Apparently, a woman was stabbed on a quiet street somewhere in town. There were witnesses who had seen a short, shifty-looking, stooped man running away from the scene. A short, shifty-looking, stooped man. Mr. Natsume, beyond any doubt. Soseki-san said that he didn't see anybody else on the street at all. But it seems there were witnesses after all. Hurley used his great deductive powers to determine the man's address. It was a lodging room very nearby. He went directly there with the police, and what did they find? A short, shifty-looking, stooped man shivering in fear. Ugh, Mr. Sholmes' great deduction certainly hit the mark that time. Of course it did. He's a great detective. Still, that means the incident occurred only 2 days ago. Surely tomorrow is too soon for the trial, isn't it? Definitely. We have no time to investigate properly. Hurley says that London is rife with crime. Oh. Scotland Yard is doing its best, but they can't stay on top of it apparently. Oh dear. I hadn't realized the situation was so dire. That's why they can't afford to spend too much time investigating cases and trying the criminals in court. Staff and money are both short. Crimes are usually pinned on the first suspicious person. That's terrible. I suppose it's the harsh reality of the workings of the world's greatest justice system. I suppose it is. But in that case, I don't hold out much hope for Soseki-san. Thank you for answering so many of our questions, Iris. This has been very informative. Oh, you're most welcome. I've had so much fun. Do you happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is at the moment? As you guessed, we'd like to ask him some questions about the case as well. Oh, well, I expect Hurley is still investigating the scene. Of the case involving Mr. Natsume, you mean? Yes, Mr. Natsume? Hurley said he was going to the man's lodgings. If you leave now, you'll probably catch him in time. Iris, do you know where those lodgings are? Well, I imagine the police are still investigating the scene of the crime themselves, aren't they? Did you happen to come across a detective by the name of Gregson while you were there? Yes, we know Inspector Gregson.
Go! Leave now! Find the himbo!
Ah, goody! In that case, give Gregsy this from me, would you? If you do that, I'm sure he'll tell you what you want to know. What is this? A 5-shilling piece and a postcard, it seems.
We're gonna bribe the shit out of him.
It reads, "Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem." Gosh, this will make the inspector help us, will it? Well, thank you, Iris. We'll give it a try. Good luck, then. I'm going to return to writing my manuscript, The Speckled Band. And I'll be making more special blends of tea, so come back again soon. We'd be delighted. Thank you so much, Iris. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, it's back to the scene of the crime. So, somewhat dubious that they would exert any influence over the men of Scotland Yard at all. We headed back to the scene with Iris's curious note and one of the world's heaviest silver coins in hand. Oh no! Big lies! I thought he did show up in that scene. I'm sorry, Adetha. I forgot. It's been a minute since I played the game.
I'ma keep going until we get to see him. That is what I promise. Actually, now that I'm looking at it... Okay, and people are still here. I've just noticed it's been a lot of orange and blue. Gomenasai!
It looks as though the police are still here, carrying on with their investigation. Perfect. Let's find Inspector Gregson as quickly as possible. Yes, and let's see if he'll take a break from his chips to look at this silver tip Iris gave us for him.
Oh, case in point, they all fucking left. What's poppin', bruh? Check this out. Bribe!
Inspector Gregson, do you have a moment?
I'm sorry to say I don't. I'm a very busy man. Oh no. Oh, did you just curse me in Japanese? I guess that's... I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say that's just the written out way to say gomenasai. But I don't know. Much too busy to talk to a pair of foreign gadabouts? Huh. Much too busy to talk to a pair of foreign gadabouts, that's for sure.
We have these for you.
Brave of you to think I know how to curse in Japanese. I'm sorry, yeah. Blue Draconics, do you know Japanese? Written or speaking? Or are we Google Translate?
A present from Miss Iris Wilson.
What? For me? From her ladyship?
Her ladyship?
Give that here, at once! Come on, hand it over, that's for me!
Don't wait for me to give it to you, will you?
Oh, you have a sibling who knows Japanese. So you just picked up a few things?
What was that coin exactly?
It's a silver crown, obviously, but it's a lot more than that. It's, well, it's an appearance fee, that's what it is.
An appearance fee? Oh, I see. You mean...
That's right. For the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. Her ladyship always offers me a little financial reward for featuring every time.
Yes, of course. I know all about your exploits, Inspector. I read them avidly.
Of course. Her using my name without my say-so does make me the butt of a lot of unpleasant jokes, but still. Oh, you haven't been around them in years. Oh, I see.
I'm sorry, Inspector. That must be difficult for you.
Never you mind that. So, what do you want to know then, huh?
Sorry?
Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem, it says. Well, obviously it's not a problem. Go on, fire away. What do you want to know?
Well, if you wouldn't mind, Inspector, we'd very much like to know the address of Mr. Natsume's lodgings.
Ah, the little knife-wielding moustache Japanese fellow. He lives in the right old hovel. It's just over there. Look. On the first floor of that house on the corner where that wreck of a bicycle is propped up.
That is nearby indeed.
If I remember rightly, the landlord is a Mr. Jean Garadib. If you see her again, you make sure to give her ladyship my regards, you hear? I mean it. You tell her that Gregson sends his very best wishes.
Don't worry, Inspector. We will.
Goodbye for now, then. And long live her ladyship! Would you look at that?
A simp getting paid.
Oh, Britton, you're so silly.
Well, at least you told us what we wanted to know before he left. Yes. So then, shall we go and see what we can find in Mr. Natsume's lodgings? Definitely.
Well, then let's get to stepping.
Better not be introducing me to someone who's not Sholmes.
Oh! Huh. I guess, are we talking to Garadib now? Ah. Right. You. Okay, what? I'm sorry, Anetha. We're going to introduce you to 2 more people. Catch me next stream. That's alright, Caleb. But quick heads up, I'm going to be out of town for the week. So what's going to happen? I'll have to see. I don't know if anybody will come out if I stream again tomorrow. But we'll see, I suppose. I'll make an announcement. We'll see. Because if I'm going to be gone for the week. Oh, don't push myself. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I sleep around a little too much, so I can get my energy back in a jiffy. But we'll see. Just look at the Herlock edits to cope. Right, you. Okay. Let's see. Fuck it. Wing it on the fly.
May I help you? Yes. Would this be the residence of Mr. John Garadib? Indeed it would, sir. And who may I say is calling? My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Mr. Naruhodo is representing Mr. Soseki Natsume. I believe he takes lodgings here.
Oh, what the hell was that?
We would very much like to ask him some questions about our client. One moment, please. I shall convey the message to Mr. Garadib. Did you see that, Miss Susato? That was a real-life English maid. I know. As I understand it, anyone of standing in English society employs a number of household staff. But that was the first time I've ever seen one in the flesh. Oh, this day keeps getting better. It certainly feels like we've really arrived now, doesn't it? We need only meet the... Wait a little bit, and his spirit will be complete. Well, I'm not sure if I'd go that far, but I understand the sentiment. Thank you for waiting. Mr. Garadib will see you now. This way.
Oh. Nope. Susato's new voice. Heavens, no. Oh boy. Well, I wonder who you are, good sir. Good day to you. John Garrideb at your service.
Pleased to meet you, sir. This is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. He's a defense lawyer.
Do excuse me for not getting up. Took a shot to the knee a few years back in the Battle of Maiwan, don't you know? Earned a medal for my pains, but had to withdraw from service. Handed the reins over to the up-and-comings.
So he's a retired soldier.
It's a hell of a job getting up and down stairs now, I can tell you. Don't get out much, as you can imagine.
Yes, it's quite a climb up here to the second floor, isn't it? I was panting on the top of the stairs. You really must take more exercise, Mr. Naruhodo. Ugh, do you think so?
Goodness.
Well, Mr. Garrideb, no doubt you were very courageous to earn yourself a medal.
Oh, it was nothing. The medal's just a folderol, really. Wouldn't like to offend the general, though, so I grudgingly display it on the wall. Why don't you fetch it down, Joanne? Let these good people see it properly. Joanne, fetch the... Dash it all, woman! Be careful!
Oh, dearie me, I do beg your pardon, sir.
You jolly nearly took the skin off my hands.
I shall be more careful, sir.
So anyway, there you have it. Living a quiet life now.
Yes, I see.
Now then, I hear you want to know about the chap lodging downstairs, is that right?
Yes, we would be very grateful if you could answer some questions for us.
Only two, please, naturally. Especially if it helps to keep the peace here in Blighty. We've forged an alliance with the Empire of Japan recently, as I'm sure you're aware. So this case is very much in the public eye, as it were.
Oh, is it?
Even had some famous detective poking around, you know. In this old house, would you believe?
Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Could have been. Didn't catch the chap's name. Not really my cup of tea, all that detective business.
Oh, but you have a copy of the Ranst magazine here, so...
No,
Anyway, the chap's investigating the foreigner's room as we speak.
So he's in Soseki-san's room. It's a bally nuisance is what it is. The whole neighborhood's twitching its curtains now. I don't like all this fuss. It's jolly unsettling.
About Mr. Natsume then, Mr. Garrideb. Please, do tell us.
Ah, yes. The Japanese chap. Only been lodging here for a week.
Oh, just 1 week? So he moved very recently then?
I have two lodgers most of the time. One on the ground floor and one just below us. The first floor room became available a week ago, you see. Dash it all, Joanne! Do be careful!
Oh, my goodness. I'm terribly sorry, sir. If you want to know my opinion, I thought he was a shady sort from the moment I set eyes on him. Oh, why? He seemed to have the most nervous disposition, always shaking and looking over his shoulder. The man had shady written across his sweat-soaked brow, if you ask me. I said to myself, Joanne, that man is trouble. Sooner or later he's going to do something untoward. and I'm rarely wrong about anything.
We won't be calling this maid as a witness, that's for sure.
Ooh, goodness. Was there anything else that struck you as suspicious about the man at all? Yes. Oh, yes, indeed there was.
And she's dying to tell us. Does he dance in the game? Yeah, he does. Well, I mean, he dances the dance of deduction, but as to like actual dancing, you got me. I don't know.
Had you noticed anything else at all about your lodger, Mr. Natsume? Oh my word, yes. The man was shadier than an orchard. Could you elaborate? Well, take the man's room. Absolutely stuffed full of books it is. More than anyone could ever read. And he never so much as passes the time of day with another living soul. I haven't seen a single visitor call. He just trots off to that old bookshop every day and comes back at 5 to light the gas fire. And the funny little man is up long past the time everyone else in the house has gone to bed, too.
Blue Draconics, I hope there's no spoilers in these links you're sending.
Oh, I see. The gentleman at the ground floor goes to bed at around 9 each night.
Actually, does that show up on the stream? I'm a little curious.
But I've never known that Japanese fellow to retire any earlier than 2 in the morning. Ah. Could you clarify something, I wonder? What, pray? How do you know so much about Mr. Natsume's routine? Oh! I'd understand that neither of the lodgers live on this floor of the house. Is that correct?
That's right, yes. They're both below us, on the first floor at street level.
Then, how is it that you know so much about the lives of your lodgers? The precise times that they come back in the evening, for example, even the times they go to bed.
Ah! Good grief, Joanne! Be more careful.
Oh my goodness, sir. I'm terribly sorry, sir. Something doesn't add up here. It seems that the incident took place at around 5 in the evening. Did you happen to look out of the window at around that time?
The window?
Yes, we noticed that the window over there looks out over Briar Road. The incident took place on the pavement just on the far side of the street. Was there anyone suspicious loitering by?
5 o'clock dinner time in the Garrett Deep household. 5 o'clock is the dinner at the time of the Garrett Deep household.
So I'm afraid I don't remember seeing anything.
How about you, Joanne?
No, sir. It would have been dusk outside already at that hour. And the fog as well. I should think it would have been quite impossible to see the other side of the road. Oh, I see. Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary then?
Such as...
anything at all, even if it seems unrelated.
Well...
Yes, Was there something then?
Well, it's nothing particularly significant, but around that sort. Ah! For the love of God, Joanne, watch what you're doing!
Oh, dearie me. What have I done? I'm awfully sorry, sir.
Do be more careful, woman!
Of course, sir. If I may, Mr. Narrow Hollow. Oh, yes. I have an exceedingly good memory, and as far as I remember, nothing of any significance took place here at that hour. Nothing at all. Oh, really? Mr. Garadib? The way you were talking before, it sounded rather like there might have been.
Oh, well, as I was saying, it was just a trifling matter, really. Nothing of! Joanne, dash it all, what is the matter with you, woman?
Begging your pardon, sir. Nothing happened.
Yes, quite. Nothing happened. We sat down to a quiet, uneventful meal. Joanne?
That's right, Mr. Garadib.
What is the matter with these two?
It sounds like something happened here in this room on the evening of the incident. But what? I wish I knew. Could you tell us which floor Mr. Natsume's room is on?
Why, certainly. It's just below us on the the first floor.
And Mr. Sholmes is investigating there, even as we speak?
Yes. Told me Natsu's name and asked him to look into the matter, so I gave him the key.
Mr. Natsume has engaged Mr. Holmes' services?
That's a blatant lie.
Would it be alright if we also had a look around? In Mr. Natsume's room, I mean.
I don't see why not. It's just down one flight of stairs.
Who knows if we'll find anything that could help us with the case, but we have to try. We need all the clues we can to lay our hands on. Shall we? Yes, and while we're there, we can speak to Mr. Sholmes again. Perhaps he'll be able to tell us more.
We'll be back. Alright, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. Huh.
Just look at this place. And smell it. It's so musty in here. I suppose it's the mountain of old books that are responsible for that.
You're exercising right now? Are you trying to stay awake? I'm so sorry if that's the case. Y'all are troopers. You're still hanging in there.
I don't think I've ever seen so many books in all my life. No, me neither. It's so dark in here, too. Is that the window over there?
I just want cool muscles and be able to do cool things. Yeah, that's the idea. I gotta look cool. Gotta look fit.
Well, it was the window, I think, yes. Once upon a time. But for some reason, it's been closed up with bricks and mortar. So this is where Mr. Natsume lives. By the way, I haven't spotted Mr. Sholmes anywhere, have you? No, that's true. But according to what Mr. Garradeep told us, the great detective should be around here somewhere investigating.
Haha, well, joke's on you. Oh. Well, this is incredibly awkward. He should have been like right over here or something. Damn it, game, you're making me look bad. I could have sworn. Oh, God. Keep note of the window.
Look at all these books stacked up here. They almost reach the ceiling. They're all works of English literature, and they all smell so musty. With this volume of books to hand, you'd never be short of reading material, would you? No, what a dreamy idea. A bad dream, maybe. For me, at least. Mind you, I don't imagine the book that's at the bottom of this pile will ever be read again. So reading it is an experience that comes but once in a lifetime, just as the tea ceremony teaches us. I certainly didn't expect the conversation to turn down the path of a tea ceremony philosophy. Ooh, cat. Oh, and there it goes. Oh my, what an adorable little cat. Perhaps he's looking after all the books while his master's away. I don't know about that. He disappeared into that pile of books as quick as a flash. It was a tricolor Mike, wasn't it? Do they even have that sort of cat here in Great Britain? Perhaps Mr. Natsume brought the little creature with him from Japan. That's made me feel homesick now. Already? We've only been in the country for 2 days.
It really has just been 2 days. Time is certainly flying.
That desk seems to be wedged into a crevice between the mountains of books on either side. I suppose Mr. Natsume would sit there and read while stroking his cat. But surrounded on all sides by these towering old tomes, surely he dreamt of books every night as well. Yes, he must have done, mustn't he? Oh, what's this? It's a receipt from the second-hand bookshop. Your books. Oh, yes. Mr. Natsume's name is on it, look. And the date of purchase. 2 days ago, at 4:45 p.m. That's the day of the incident. That's just a short while before he was embroiled in a terrible attack. He must have been on his way back from buying some old books. Oh, he's materialized!
Here comes the boy. Hello, boy. Welcome. There he is. He is here. All right. We've waited hours. Okay, we did it.
Look, Mr. Naruhodo. Aha! There he is. Where did he appear from? He seems to be engrossed in the pages of an old book. I hope he wouldn't mind if we disturb him. Hello, Mr. Sholmes!
You two. Good day. Now, let me see. Where was it that we met?
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, we were together on the SS Bureau.
Yes, of course. The Bureau.
And let me see, what happened on that voyage? It was Kazuma Asogi. He died, tragically. But you were a great help to us. Ah, yes, but of course. The case of Mr. Asugi.
It was the one with the snake, wasn't it?
Oh. Well, you seem to remember. Something of it, at least. What an honor to be remembered vaguely by the great detective.
If we're being remembered vaguely, is it still an honor?
What an honor to be remembered vaguely by the great Herlock Sholmes. This is Mr. Oh, no, my dear madam, hold your tongue. I pride myself on my superior powers of recollection. Your names are safely recorded in my brain attic.
Miss Naruhodo and Mr. Susato.
Try the other way around, Mr. Sholmes.
Ah! I lose the first round.
Oh, what a joy. In truth, I had hoped to invite you both to my Baker Street suite the day we arrived in London. But some Scotland Yarders ambushed me at the railway station and whisked me away to a crime scene. It was an entirely trivial case, of course. I solved the matter in no more than 30 minutes. So they apprehended Soseki-san in that short of an amount of time? I'm afraid the pursuance of a new case has dulled my recollection of my past involvements a little. A little? It is a mistake to think that one's brain attic has elastic walls that can distend to any extent. I do my best to forget useless facts, lest they should elbow out the useful ones.
Yes, those are my very own words of imitable wisdom, you know, from an adventure entitled A Study in Scarlet.
Please, there's no need to quote yourself. I don't always remember my pearls of wisdom, but fortunately, my associate pens them beautifully. He means Iris, I suppose. Mr. Sholmes, we have some extremely important questions to ask you about this trivial case you just mentioned. Goodness, what an earnest expression. My dear madam, I should be only too pleased. And this murky room is an apt place to discuss the murky case.
Oh, you like his outfit? You a big fan of steampunk? Okay, I'm starting to tire out a little bit, so let's see if we can wrap up whatever conversation we have with Sholmes and then call it a night. Oh, big fan of steampunk. That's nice, that's nice. It certainly is an interesting style of choice. Alright.
We know this to be the lodgings of a Japanese foreign student by the name of Soseki Natsume. It seems that you assisted in his arrest, Mr. Sholmes, for the stabbing of a young woman outside here on Briar Road. Natsume. Yes, I believe it was the name, rather along those lines. But Mr. Natsume denies it. Was it really justifiable to arrest him on so little? I'm sorry, Miss Susato, but I have not the slightest idea what you mean. What? I can't believe he was looking Susato-san squarely in the eye with feigning ignorance. I assure you, I am no merely feigning ignorance. I'm not merely feigning ignorance. It would appear as if the pair of you are under some misapprehension. Oh? How? I assure you I have no recollection of accusing your astute compatriot of the crime. But that doesn't make any sense. A good detective of Scotland Yard made the following request of me, and I quote verbatim. We need you to ascertain the identity and whereabouts of a man seen fleeing the scene of a crime. Ah, a man seen fleeing. There were a number of books scattered on the pavement of the scene. From the book plates, I was quickly able to determine the bookshop from which they had been purchased. On speaking with the proprietor, I was immediately led to this address. Elementary, what did you say? I believe there's a receipt around here somewhere from the establishment in question. So you don't think Mr. Natsume is the culprit then? That I could not tell you. But it was aggravating my faculties. Hence why I returned here. However, this place is such a trove of fascinating books, I found myself quite lost in their bibliophily. I found myself quite lost in the bibliophily. Do not be deceived in believing that I am a man of leisure. No, no, no. Oh dear. Tell me. Have you encountered the landlord of these lodgings? Yes, Mr. Garadib, a retired military man. It was the first time I had ever met a soldier from the great British institution that is the services. And it was the first time I've ever met a maid from the great British institution that is service. I didn't think it was that funny. I do apologize. As you may well be aware, many households in London employ a maid. Yes, I read as much in my Great Britain primer.
The laugh was tough, dear. Oh, thanks.
And so conversely, whether or not a household employs a maid has come to betoken the social standing of those dwelling therein. Betoken their social standing? Sorry? To put simply, my dear fellow, those who employ at least a single maid are considered middle class. Those who do not are beneath that. In the upper echelons of society, of course, households employ enough staff to constitute a large family. Goodness, how extraordinary. As you can appreciate, for those on the precarious boundary between the middle and lower classes, being able to afford just one maid is one of the first importance. I had no idea. And it is for precisely that reason that I find great stimulation in the situation upstairs. Specifically, the retired Army veteran, Mr. John Garadib. Oh? Affable as he is, the fellow is hiding something. Whether or not it imposes on the circumstances of this case, I am yet unable to ascertain. I'm thoroughly lost when what he means to say. This room is thoroughly suffocating for the soul, my dear fellow. I assure you, any man whose lot is to dwell in a place such as this will stab somebody sooner or later. Mr. Natsume has stabbed no one. But sooner or later, as I said. I don't believe that's the issue here. About this dark little room, Mr. Sholmes. Why is there no longer a window? Do you have any idea? No window? Well, I mean, I can clearly see that there is a window, of sorts. But it's been completely blocked with bricks. I see. The answer to that question is quite simple. Window tax. Window tax? What is that? Surely, not attacks on windows.
Precisely that.
Oh my goodness! Very much a real thing. Until relatively recently, a tax was levied on households in this country by the number of their windows. Those of lesser means, having inherited a sizable and costly family home perhaps, rapidly closed windows up. While the rich opened windows here, there, and everywhere, in an effort to curry favor with those in power by furnishing them with large sums of tax money. How awful and unjust, forcing people to live in rooms devoid of light. Indeed, disease was rife as a result. So some 40 years ago or thereabouts, the window tax was abolished. But its legacy remains, as you can see, in squalid lodgings such as these, for example. I suppose Mr. Natsume's stipend for living here in London isn't very generous, perhaps. It would appear so. I've done a little digging, and discovered that these lodgings were offered at an extraordinarily low price. Because the room is so awful, I should think. Apparently, Mr. Natsume only moved here about 1 week ago. Yes, that's correct. However, I don't believe the low rent is explained by the shabby nature of the accommodation. Oh? Still, that is of little relevance here. A matter not worthy of further attention. Are you sure? I'm curious now. Well, I believe I've told you all that I can now. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Was it not your intention to become a practitioner of law? You remembered that, did you?
Wait, why are you saying your name in the chat?
Will you perhaps be offering your services in this very matter, I wonder? To the occupant of this room, Mr. Natsume, was it? I'm not sure. Not sure? On what grounds? Well, I actually defended someone in court here only yesterday. Really? Well, then I congratulate you, sir, on an ambition realized. And so promptly so. Or promptly, too. The thing is, it's really made me question things. Am I right to believe in my clients? To trust in their innocence?
Oh, you sleep now? Well, have a good night, Blue Draconics. I am just about to wrap up myself. Head swimming. I'm doing my best to try and stay alert. But have a good night.
Yes. Trust. Mr. Sholmes? Mr. Natsume didn't do it, did he? Ah! My dear fellow, I haven't the first idea. Oh, but I thought that's why you were here. Didn't you come back to investigate? Ah, yes. That was indeed my initial intention. But there are simply too many fascinating books here. I couldn't possibly ignore them. Oh, I see. Nevertheless, there are two facts that I can state quite unequivocally. The man who fled the scene of the crime 2 days ago was the Japanese occupant of this room, and there are witnesses who swear to having seen the same man commit this crime. That is all I can say. Ah, and one more thing. Oh, what is it, Mr. Sholmes? Tell us. I cannot say with any certainty whether or not it is relevant to this case, but I am quite sure that the retired army man who owns this property is hiding something. Mr. Garadib is? Mr. Sholmes said as much before actually, didn't he?
He's funny. I like him. It's just that easy.
Anyway, at present, that is really all that plays on my mind in relation to this case. Mr. Naruhodo, as yet our investigations have uncovered nothing that could help establish Mr. Natsume's innocence. No, you're right. Perhaps it's time we probed a little deeper into Mr. Garadib's secret. Just remember, I cannot be sure whether the landlord's secret will prove to be of relevance or not. I wish you every success, of course, Mr. Naruhodo. A busy man indeed. He's gone back to his book in the corner of the room.
Oh. Okay, yeah, that's enough. That's enough. I'm tired. Oh, goodness. No, I don't believe he's gone. If I were a betting man, there he is. Right there. So I'll tell you what. Next stream, we'll pick up right where we left off. And that'll be the end of that. There we go. Alright, that concludes the end of tonight's stream. Thank you all. The brave soldiers who have braved until this early in the morning. Thank you ever so much for sticking across my stream. I noticed that a few people had to dip because it was getting late, so I might move back the time on when I end these streams. Honestly, Anetha, I went just to get to Sholmes because you were so eager, and I'm glad that you did get to see him. Okay. Stream bugging for you on mobile? Is it perhaps that Morehouse Wi-Fi? It wouldn't surprise me if that is. It's always been buggy. But yeah. You can follow my Twitter and Instagram, which I have placed in my profile. You can check out past streams to maybe catch up to see what you missed and see me fumble around with trying to run a stream. I'm still fumbling around. It's so much fun. Stream donations are always appreciated. Those are also in my About page. And you can leave a little message, and I'll read it aloud. Let's see. What else? Tonight's highlights, I'd like to thank Blue Draconics, who unfortunately had to leave because he was getting tired, understandably so, who rated from his stream. Greatly appreciated. And Chris the Dubstep Shaddux, thank you very much for following, and welcome to the Matt Mass trademark in the works. Not sure. Wait, do I know him? Who is him? Or them, rather. Use your nouns, not pronouns. Oh. It's okay, Debbie. It's okay. It's alright. You're good. Yeah, Blue Draconics and Chris, well, Blue Draconics appeared in one of my earlier streams. I don't know from where, but I guess they just found me and they stuck by me, and I really appreciate his company. And Chris was from their stream, so yeah. Is he fine? Oh, well, he's certainly something. But now we are on 14 followers. So we've got a long way to go to hit 50. Of course, I'll still be marketing. If you'd like to tell your friends about the work I'm putting in here, you could always link at twitch.tv/MattMassAttack, I believe. Yeah, we're shilling, we're plugging, we're doing in all the things. You and this throwing up business, I do not appreciate it. Not in the slightest. Okay. Y'all have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for watching. And take care. Ta-ta!